Let's talk first with Burlington Mayor Marianne Meed Ward for her weekly update on the city. Welcome back to the show. Nice to see you.
Good to see you. Good morning.
All right. So some earlier announcements this week. Yesterday's announcement regarding the targeted rapid COVID-19 testing for specific neighborhoods. Let's talk a little bit about Burlington. Do any areas qualify for that?
So we have different streams of rapid testing. It's all run through our Halton Regional Medical Officer of Health, except for the business stream. So our ECDEV folks have been providing free rapid testing for businesses, which is great. And our numbers are really low in Burlington throughout this. Kudos to all the residents out there. We've had really strong participation in all of the health measures, and so we've done really well. Low infection rates, only 6 cases today, only 13 across the whole region. So keep up the good work, everyone.
Well, right from the get-go, I know we were really on top of things and fighting the fight for Burlington. So it did make a difference, absolutely.
It really did, and what helped is that we had the cooperation and participation of our residents who agreed to make those sacrifices to put others first and to put the community needs ahead of their own. So I'm very proud of residents. Yeah,
absolutely. And let's talk about this week's the throne speech. There was mention of healthcare and transit and roads, and of course, again, the reconciliation efforts with Indigenous communities. What stood out to you in that?
Couple of things. There's no question that now is the time to really accelerate our outreach to Indigenous residents in our community. There's a new group that's formed here in Burlington, Urban Indigenous Peoples of Burlington, that have been holding a number of events, including in Spencer Smith Park. So that is going to be front and center, and there are cost implications to municipalities, and we need to make sure that we're ready to put our money where our mouth is. So that is really important to see the additional lobbying for the federal government to give us additional healthcare dollars on a per capita basis. We're one of the lowest in the country, so we know that we need that for sure. But the other piece was a continued commitment from the province to work with municipalities, and these are shared responsibilities and shared challenges, and so we need to be good partners with them. So that was really important.
And lastly, I wanted to talk about the renaming of Ryerson Park. Where are we with that? I know there's been a lot of interest. A lot of people have submitted ideas, and are we getting closer?
So over 500 suggestions for a new name have been submitted, and there is a small working group that has been struck. It does include the ward councillor. There is an Indigenous resident as part of that, members of our Inclusivity Advisory Committee, and others around the table. They will take that list of 500 and get something a little more manageable that we can put back out to the community and seek their opinion and for a final decision on what the new name will be.
Do you have a target date or timing on this?
We're looking at November. Yeah, okay. That's what we asked staff to come back with when we decided to rename it, that we wanted to hear back from them in November. And there's a parallel process happening at the school board as well. They're renaming the public school, and November is their date as well.
Wonderful. And to go back a little bit, last week for Orange Shirt Day at Spencer Smith Park that you alluded to earlier, how was that event for you?
It was so powerful, and close to 300 people came out to listen, to learn. We cried. It was heartbreaking at times. We laughed. We learned. We came together as a community, and it was a very, very powerful start. And I know that Indigenous residents who put that on, the Indigenous residents in Burlington felt very supported, and that's exactly what we need.
And I know, in the past where we've seen the red dresses hanging in the trees in the park, I mean, the first time I saw that, as you just mentioned, powerful. It's so moving, but these are the conversations we need to continue to have.
Absolutely. And that was, it wasn't the first step on our journey, but it was a very meaningful step forward. And a lot of people, asking how to learn more about it. And I mentioned a book that I was reading, 21 Things You May Not Know About the Indian Act. And that's the title of the book. Please, there's lots of resources on my webpage. A lot of residents followed up after to ask for the title and commit themselves to learning. And that's just terrific.
That's a great idea. Burlington Mayor Marianne Meed Ward, thank you so much for joining us again for our weekly update.